Homelessness is not just a city problem. Rent prices in more rural parts of the state have doubled or even tripled over the past few years, while the average person's monthly income remains relatively the same. And that has a lot of people facing homelessness asking, if I can't afford to live here, then where can I go? Here's News Center Maine's Chloe Tebow.
49.
The Johnsons seem like your typical family of four.
These all your toys, Jay?
2 adults and 2 kids under the age of 10.
Hey!
But the place they've been calling home recently isn't quite so typical. It has 4 wheels and an engine.
And now we are 2 months on this awesome journey. Been staying in our car.
Jessica says in April, her family gave their 30 days notice on their most recent apartment after experiencing issues with sewage water leaking into their bathroom and flooding the basement. She says they thought they would be able to find another place easily in the rural Rumford area. But so far,
It just feels like endless. It's like endless. You think you got your hopes up, and then something happens.
something like new landlords refusing to accept the Johnsons' emergency rental assistance, a program that began in response to the pandemic to help eligible people pay for rent and utilities. But according to Maine Housing, landlords can't be required to participate.
Most places you go look at, you find a 3-bedroom, they want $1,600 for it a month, and then the landlord wants you to make 3 times the amount of the rent.
He says for them, that's just not possible. The Johnsons are living on a fixed income of a little more than $2,000 per month since Brian, Jessica, and their daughter received disability through Social Security.
Every month we're broke by the time the bills come through anyway.
To get help and find a community, the Johnsons have been coming off and on to the Beacon House Peer Recovery Center, which has been around since 1991. It acts as a resource for people experiencing challenges related to mental health, substance use, and homelessness. Jenna Mason is the center's manager.
People become really vulnerable here, and it's been a very safe environment. The atmosphere is welcoming.
Mason says she has been in Rumford since 2006 and has recently noticed a growing need when it comes to housing.
More so lately, we've had people coming here. People walking in saying that they're homeless. A couple, we were able to give them a sleeping bag and a tent. Another, we were able to use our community funds to help them get a campsite.
As for the reasons why,
the new landlords coming into town, they're coming from out of state. They're raising up the rents.
The cost of living, the rents have definitely gone up over time.
Michelle Wordley works across town as the director of homeless services at Rumford Group Homes, one of the only shelters in the area.
We've had a couple of families that have come into the shelter when I first started 10 years ago. Well, now their kids are grown up, having kids of their own. They've also come back into shelter.
A cycle of homelessness that can be hard to escape in this economy.
They're still going off the same salaries. They're still going off what everybody used to be making. It was hard enough for families to be able to afford housing, then, let alone now.
The poverty issues have just, I think, completely increased, from COVID, if you will.
Jolene Bedard with the United Way of Androscoggin County says she gets calls daily from people on the verge of homelessness.
It's heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking and hard to find solutions.
People that are on the verge of homelessness in rural areas, transportation is probably a barrier for a lot of people. And that transportation could be to jobs, it could be to a shelter.
And for those who do have transportation, like the Johnsons,
Yeah, I want to live here.
sometimes it's all they have.
My daughter's gonna be turning 9 July 27th, which she does know we won't have a home for her birthday. So it's kind of discouraging.
That's News Center Maine's Chloe Tebow with that story. Jolene Bedard says if you're in need, there are places you can reach out to for help. She recommends calling, texting, or visiting the 211 Maine website. There you can find resources in your area for your specific needs.